While 2017 had a lot of very exciting and memorable films, there were a lot of stinkers that didn't really help the industry in any sort of way. Whether it was painfully unfunny comedies or reboots that no one was really asking for, there was a lot that sort of disappointed us in 2017. So sit back and enjoy my top 10 worst films of 2017. But first, some dishonourable mentions. The House, A Few Less Men, The Mountain Between Us, The Dark Tower, and Daddy's Home 2 all make the dishonourable mentions. And now, the number 10 worst film of 2017 is Death Note. Adam Wingard's adaptation of the beloved manga is painfully disappointing, especially to fans of the series, as even in its attempt to try something new and different with the material, fails in all fronts in giving us anything meaningful or memorable aside from the wasted potential of Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. Number 9 is Baywatch. Baywatch should be the answer to anyone asking whether you should do a 21 Jump Street style reboot to any TV show, which is all Seth Gordon's film is trying to be. Most attempts at humour fall completely flat in Baywatch, and even the staying power of Dwayne Johnson can't help the film from drowning. Is it a guilty pleasure? Sure, but you might as well just watch the 21 Jump Street films, which are far superior in every way. Number 8 on the list is The Mummy. This one really hurt. An attempt to bring the Universal monsters to the big screen in a nice shared universe. Hell yeah, I'm down for that. Unfortunately, this version of The Mummy was far more interested in setting up 5 more films than actually giving us an interesting mummy film. Fans of the Brendan Fraser films were pretty skeptical, and they had every right to be. I love giving films a chance and support the underdog in these scenarios, but even I agree that the Fraser films were at least interested in their own world and premise. Number 7 on the list is The Circle. What could have been a really interesting and in-depth look into social media and the way it shapes our culture ends up being painfully uninteresting and bland without a single interesting idea to spare. What's more insulting is the film is one of the last performances we have of Bill Paxton. Number 6 is Downsizing. I absolutely adored Alexander Payne's Nebraska, and judging by the trailers for Downsizing, I was fully on board for a really smart, satirical comedy about a tiny Matt Damon. And sadly, what the trailers sold only lasts about 30 minutes into the film before it divulges into a very lazy and boring insight into someone trying to find their purpose in life while shoehorning in a horrible romance that no one is buying. If you're going to do this to us, at least act like you're interested in telling a very smart and interesting story rather than making it a complete snooze fest. And making Hong Chow speak broken English for the entire film instead of letting her speak Vietnamese with subtitles for us, or straight up having her speak full English, is absolutely embarrassing. Number 5 on the list is Gio Storm. While I'm sure some will find this a guilty pleasure, Gio Storm is a painful disaster flick that's more interested in bombarding you with useless visual noise instead of telling any sort of coherent story. Considering someone else came in to direct the reshoots after the test screenings were received so poorly, should give you plenty of reason to avoid Geostorm at all costs. Number 4 on the list is Transformers: The Last Knight. Once again, Michael Bay insults us with what has to be the worst Transformers film to date. Sure, it was shorter than Age of Extinction, but at least that film had some idea of where it wanted to take its story. This is a giant, incoherent mess and is completely offensive to anyone who considers themselves a Transformers fan. This franchise needs a reboot desperately. Number 3 on the list is Flatliners. Flatliners had potential to bring new light to a cool concept from the early 90s, and a lot of people for a while were under the impression that this was going to be a sequel to the 90s film, and yet it has absolutely nothing to do with it, with Kiefer Sutherland playing someone completely different. This film has no idea what it wants to be. Is it a horror film? Is it a sci-fi thriller with some questions about the afterlife? Or is it just a teen drama? It takes all of these ideas and puts them into a blender and forms them into a complete messy sludge with no shape whatsoever. This was painful to sit through. Number 2 on the list is The Snowman. Straight up, this film just isn't finished. The director came out and said that 25% of this film script was not shot, even though they had time for reshoots. I mean, bringing on Thomas Alfredson, the director of the pretty damn good Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, adapting a pretty popular thriller, should be a no-brainer combination for success, right? Storylines are forgotten and don't go anywhere, and unfortunately is another downer note on Michael Fassbender's career. And number 1 worst film of 2017 is the Emoji Movie. This film is straight up insulting. It straight up exists as a corporate attempt to make money off your kids by showing them things they recognize. Instagram's here, Facebook's here. Literally no attempt is made to make this film even engaging or exciting for the audience. The film isn't funny and it comes up as a cash grab on the Lego Movies formula. In a year where we had incredible animated experiences in the forms of Coco, 2017 will be the year where we also got this stinker of a film. Thanks for watching my top 10 worst films of 2017. I didn't get a chance to make full video reviews of all the films on this list just due to time constraints and things happening at the same time that some of these films were released. So if you would like me to go into more detail with some of these films on this list, do let me know in the comment section below. If there were films that you thought would be mentioned but weren't, I will post a link to my complete list of 2017 films in the description below, so one of those films may be there on that list. So guys, 2017 was a pretty damn exciting year for film lovers, and even though there were some stinkers like the ones on this list, I think there was a lot to love, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what 2018 brings us. So thank you guys for supporting the Mono Report, and don't forget to stay right here for your Mono Fix. Bye guys.